Did you know you could actually keep a murder a secret? And I'm not even joking. Or like how you can actually make a functional ice hammer that breaks things and doesn't just break easily. Today, I'm gonna react to Zack films teaching us how to do these things like getting away with murder, technically.
If you pour water into a hammer mold, freeze it, peel it out, and then try to hit a nail, it will shatter right away. Instead, use a mallet mold to spread the weight more evenly. Next, tear up a paper towel to spread on the bottom. This makes a mesh that holds the ice layers together. After that, stuff in cotton balls, which helps give the ice a sturdy structure, and lay 2 strings down the length of the hammer to keep the handle connected to the head. Finally, if you top it off with 1 more layer of paper towels before pouring in the water, you'll end up with a sturdy hammer that can crush a jawbreaker.
Just a jaw? Wait, what? Yo, wait, this is low-key crazy. Bro, this is like every kid's dream to make a hammer out of ice. What the heck? That's like some cool mythical powers, bro. Wait, what? This was inspired by a longer experiment from dropping science. Wait, there's no way, bro. Instead of doing all that, just buy a hammer. Bro, this is like a cool DIY for kids. Wait, I actually gotta search this. Ice hammer. But there's no way. Wait, what the heck?
Regular ice hammer is pretty weak and breaks doing even the most basic of hammer things. However, ice doesn't have to be this, just trying to minimize the amount of silicone I needed. Anyway, with a few small adjustments to the mold, holes on both sides to try out, and I didn't want to waste the big one, but for reference, the metal hammer was able to handle the first 2.
You have this?
In the meantime, I put the semi-used ice hammer more clearly now.
So this is the ice hammer right here. It looks a bit strange, I'm gonna lie with you. But this is ice.
A nice texture that wasn't as painfully cold to hold.
Oh, so that's he's just wrapped in like paper towel.
As far as the test goes, it successfully crushed the small one without damage.
Well, that's actually cool.
Here's the medium-sized one, which it also performed pretty well at. And finally, the full-size jawbreaker. Not to raise the stakes or anything, but I'm out of cotton balls and need to get this video out before TikTok is banned, so this is it. Here we go.
Oh, wait, no. No, chill, bro, chill, bro. Break it. What? No.
I was surprised to see the jawbreaker bounce a few times from hits, and I kept hitting it a little bit harder each time until something happened that sort of reminded me of the infamous Gordon Hayward play.
No.
Anyway, the mallet did finally break, but some of the jawbreaker chipped off, which is pretty cool, and I realized this wasn't a very fair test since the metal hammer can't even do much better.
Wait, what?
My friend told me they thought I didn't give the paper towels a fair enough shot. I believe last May, so I decided to make
and you can actually like use the ice hammer to nail nails, bro. Well, that's cool.
As the soda went into the cup, it flowed through a funnel and into a plastic tube that ran down his sleeve, and it drained into a secret reservoir in his bag. You see, Baja Blast was only sold in Taco Bells, so he came up with a plan and posted it online. And that's when other users jumped in to help. They offered tweaks and improvements to the device until they had perfected the design together. He cut a hole in the bottom of the cup and used the tubing to connect it to the sealed container. While the empty cup looked normal from the outside, with a few refills, he stole gallons of soda without anyone noticing. Then he posted the video online.
And that's where you're cooked, buddy. That's where you're cooked. Why would you do a literal crime and then post it online? Honestly, nowadays, bro, people be doing that, bro. There's this one streamer, his name is Clav. Bro literally ran over a person with a Cybertruck. And I'm not even joking, look at this. Kick streamer Clavier appears to run over a person during stream. Yeah.
Where it spread across the internet as Operation Soda Steal.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. What if you got caught? If you're gonna do something like that, why the frick would you post a video about it online? That's what I'm saying.
He stuffed the rifle in between sandbags and tied 2 tins to the top and bottom, connecting the trigger to the lower one. Then they filled the top can with water before poking holes in it. And as the water dripped down, it slowly filled the bottom tin. The growing weight pulled on the rope, building tension until it finally yanked the trigger. This fired the gun while the sandbag kept it in place. You see, the soldiers used this to trick the enemy into thinking the battle was still going on as they quietly slipped away.
What? Yo, that's actually Yo, whoever thought of this idea, give them $1 million, right? Give them the Nobel Prize. Yo, that's low-key smart as hell. Oh my gosh, look at this. For those who don't know, this is a story of the Australian soldiers who fought in Gallipoli, Turkey. They were completely outgunned and making no progress. This prompted one soldier to invent the drip rifle. This is pure genius. Soldiers were instantly creative back then. Yeah, bro, this is crazy. Nowadays, we have AI and like freaking jet AI target lock on stuff, so no need for any of this, but cool.
If you went blind, your brain would stop taking in signals from your eyes. But in rare cases, your brain could just make up images instead. You might think you're pouring into a glass while spilling it across the table.
Bruh.
Or step forward on what looks like solid ground, only to fall down a flight of stairs. You see, the brain is putting in fake images to fill in the lost connection. Now, no one really knows why it does this, and while the condition is rare, it can be extremely dangerous.
Yikes. Yep. Rip to my blind people, bro. Rip to my blind people. That's called hallucination, Zach. Basically, what happens if you overdose on... But more unfortunate because you have no control of your blindness. Yeah, bro. Oh, red brain rage baiting us is valid. This is low-key rage bait.
The wild pigs all gather around the bait that is sitting beneath a huge metal ring hanging in the air. It's fitted with a live camera that sends an alert to the farmer's phone. And once he makes sure all the boars are inside the trap, he presses the button and the ring drops, snapping into a full circle around the entire herd. You see, in traditional traps, one boar bumps into a tripwire. Then the gate slams shut, trapping only the few that made it inside, while the rest escape into the woods. And those survivors teach the others to avoid that trap forever.
Teach others? What the hell? What? Teach us what the... We have civilization amongst boars? Nah, that's crazy. No, that's that's a little bit scary because, bro, that's a little bit too advancing for boars, bro.
Meaning most of the herd keeps growing faster than they can be stopped. This device fixes that by waiting until every pig is inside before the trap is triggered.
Boom. Nice. For those who don't know, boars are terrible when it comes to fields. Yeah, boars are overpopulated or something like that, and they kill farmers. So, go freak these boars, bro. I have no mercy.
If you only had one battery left and needed to turn on a flashlight, you could tear off a strip of foil, fold it until it's the same size as the battery, and roll it with your fingers until it's round. Then place the working battery at the positive end of the flashlight with the foil roll at the negative end. You see, electricity needs to have a continuous path in order to work. So when you close the battery compartment and press the switch, the foil completes the circuit, letting the electricity flow from the battery to the light bulb and turning your flashlight back on.
Yo, low-key, I would try this, but I don't have a flashlight right now. Yo, what the hell? Yo, Zack films is actually like pretty damn educational. That's pretty cool. That is actually pretty cool. You could do that. However, oh no, here are my hopes and dreams being killed. It will most likely lower the voltage, causing the flashlight to operate at all or to illuminate efficiently. But I mean, hey, you would only use this if you have ran out of batteries or like you're in a surviving situation. Very impressive. Yeah, very impressive indeed.
His stomach grew into a potbelly over time. So he exercised regularly and didn't drink beer to try and get rid of it. But even after losing 34 pounds, it was still there. Doctors told him it was nothing, but he...
Doctors told him nothing? That's a rookie mistake. Bro, I swear doctors just like, they tell you the most basic stuff. Low-key, when you really think about it, they'd be like, yeah, just take this medicine real quick. Unless you actually pursue further into like the medical deep analysis people, which even costs more, then they would tell you something. But bro, this
he demanded a full body scan, and they found a 30-pound tumor wrapped around his kidney. It took 6 hours of surgery to remove it, along with the kidney, but he fully recovered.
Wow, what, 6 pounds?
They found a 30-pound
Holy 30 pounds? Jeez. To tell patients they are fine and then have them go through a full body scan only to find a 30-pound tumor is genuinely crazy, bro. It's low-key genuinely crazy, bro. I was just talking about that. Why would a doctor think that denying a patient's condition right in front of them is okay? Hey, that's just doctors for you, bro. Big pharma, bro. They're all part of the scam. 30-pound tumor is crazy. That's so heavy. Bro's literally carrying child in there. Once you really think about it, that's insane.
How fast would an unbreakable merry-go-round need to spin to liquefy your brain? Well,
yo, Zack, I don't need to know this, bro. Yo, give me some educational stuff. Give me them wholesome vids you have once in a blue moon, bro. Not this. I want to liquefy your brain. Like,
a normal person can push one at around 9 miles per hour, fast enough to make you dizzy, but not deadly. To reach deadly speeds, you would need to attach a jet engine to the side.
Gotcha. Yeah, I totally have access to that.
You would then have to strap yourself in to keep from flying off. It would spin fast enough to generate over 50,000 Gs of force. That's enough to rupture blood vessels and snap bones. Your brain would slam into the side of your skull over and over until the tissue tears apart from the inside and eventually becomes fully liquefied.
That's crazy. Jeez, bro. To put it in perspective, I believe like jet fighters and all that, they like go through like 4 Gs, 50 kgs. Oh my gosh. And this is what it looks like, bro. Hold on, let me show you an example. Look at this. So look. So this is 9 G force. And by the way, this is 9 G force. I know I just said that, but the Zack Films video literally said 50K. All right, so like this is just 9 Gs. And this is what it does to us. 9 G force, right? Take a deep breath. Look at this. Look at that. Look at his face, bro. Look at his face. Look at his face. Squeeze your butt. And he's passing out. That's how crazy this is. Bro's passed out. Look at this G's. Why am I breathing like I'm part of the video? Damn, bro. I know that's just only, it's crazy. Sheesh, bro. That guy just ate 25 in 3 seconds. Yeah, man.
If you murder someone and then confess the murder to a priest,
yeah,
they cannot tell anyone, ever. You see, it's called the seal of confession, and breaking it will get you kicked out of the church forever. But what if you confess that you're about to kill the priest's own mother? Well, the priest still has to stay silent. He can't warn her, can't call the police. He can't even sit outside her house to protect her, because any action could reveal what he heard. But what if a priest does break the seal of confession, and then confesses that to another priest? Well, that second priest also can't tell anyone, because now that confession is sealed too.
What? Yo, I'm Catholic and I did not know that. Wow. I mean, I knew priests can't just say the sins when they go to confession. For context, confession is like where, let's say you commit a sin, like you don't listen to your parents, or you, for example, killed someone. They can't say that to anybody. And I did not know it went to that extent of killing. Wow. I'm bamboozled, bro. That's crazy. If you murder someone. But a good way to start a sentence, yeah. Like, this is crazy. I'm just bamboozled, bro.
The bones are carefully removed from the chicken, which is then seasoned and stacked on a duck. Then the duck is rolled up and placed on top of the turkey, and any extra spaces are filled with stuffing.
Whoa.
Next, the edges of the turkey are sewn shut, while tightly wrapped strings hold the meat together. It's roasted for several hours at a low temperature to cook evenly. And as it heats up, the fat melts and the flavors combine. Finally, the turducken is carved, revealing the layers of meat inside.
Low-key looks fire. Let's take a look at this. I don't know. The animation doesn't really do it justice, in my opinion. I don't know. The combination sounds a bit funny, but we'll see. Let's see. Okay, so that looks interesting. See that? Whoa. So that looks fire, bro. It's not bad. It looks a little bit dry. I don't lie to you. This one looks a little bit dry, but I could see the vision.
He loaded each of the 24 barrels, added a trail of gunpowder, and aimed it out of the window, waiting to assassinate the king as he passed below. He then lit the gunpowder, which fired all the guns at once. The force blew apart the guns and tore the man's face and hands as the bullets rained down down on the
Oh
villagers,
my gosh.
even hitting the king's horse in the neck. But the king was barely scratched on his forehead, and the man was soon captured for his crime.
Wow, what luck, bro. 25 barrels and you failed to do the mission, bro. Oh, hitman, bro. High risk, low reward, high income, bro. Bro, I had severe ski issues. Yeah, how do you have 25 barrel guns just to kill one single person, bro? You killed everyone but him, bro. Look at him. You killed everyone but this guy.
If you slide your cup side to side fast, you can catch just the syrup, making your drink taste super sweet. You see, when you push the button, gas pressure turns on behind the wall, and a pump sucks syrup from a sealed bag inside a cardboard box, causing it to slowly move through a plastic tube toward the nozzle. At the same time, cold water flows into a metal tank, and carbon dioxide is forced in under pressure, trapping tiny bubbles inside the water. Then, in separate tubes, the syrup and carbonated water flow into the nozzle. Inside, the fizzy water sprays through tiny holes, spreading into a mist, and the syrup shoots into that mist as they leave the nozzle. But if you time it just right, you can skip most of the water and catch the syrup before it blends in.
Whoa, that's actually so cool. I did not know how those fountain soda machines work. Now we know. Wait, that's actually, I thought like there was just a big jar of whatever soda you want. Like there's a big jar of fruit punch. There's a big jar of Sprite, but now I did not know it's syrup and water. I guess like carbonated water. That logic, you could easily accidentally get the water instead of the syrup. Yeah.
When the waiter brought the bill for their dinner date, the man stood up, ran out the door, and never came back.
Bro, I know that's freaked up. Yo guys, do not take notes from that guy, all right? Do not take notes.
She was left sitting there, forced to cover the expensive bill. Now, a witness reported this to the police, and they found more than 20 women had reported the same exact story. Detectives traced the pattern across the city. Same man, same trick, with the same result. He was arrested and sentenced to 120 days in jail.
That's it? Wait, no, actually, that's low-key a lot. But like, for his crimes, not really, bro. You better get fined, for sure. Bro, it's the exact opposite of a gentleman, bro. Exactly, guys. Do not take notes unless you want to end up in jail. Or you could get free food, but end up in jail. He wasn't on a Dine and Dash data. He was running a free meal subscription service at the expense of 20 women. That 120-day sentence is barely 6 days per date. Oh, wow, I just realizing that, bro. Yeah, low-key, bro, like, he should have been fined, at least, for each of those meals, and the jail time. And no, actually give money to the woman that paid for it. That's a gentleman, bro. I mean, that shouldn't even happen in the first place.
When the master clock hit 60 seconds, a puff of compressed air would shoot through the underground pipe and travel up to a pump inside the clock. This would inflate it, pushing the minute hand forward. Now, the master clock was actually made of two parts, a super accurate clock and a machine that activated for just 20 seconds every minute. During this time, the tube inside would open and blast compressed air down a network of pipes, powering thousands of clocks throughout Paris. Families could even pay a monthly fee to get one installed inside their home. But in 1910, the machine was destroyed by a flood, stopping every clock in the city. And even though it was fixed, they were soon replaced by electronic clocks.
The more you know, you know? Yeah, this is like one of those Zack videos where you're like, cool.
Her face slammed into a rock as she slipped, breaking her nose and injuring her hand and leg. When rescuers arrived, they loaded her into a basket attached to a helicopter. But when the chopper took off, the blades pushed air down toward the woman, and the safety line snapped, causing her to spin. She quickly gained speed, turning uncontrollably, and the blood rushed to her head and eyes. She spun 175 times over the course of just 40 seconds.
That's so fast,
until they finally pulled her inside. The woman was dizzy for days after.
Days. Woohoo! Hey, yo, you better sue them peoples, bro.
And she sued the city,
there we go,
winning almost $500,000.
Not bad. Hey, you know what? Wait.
Her face slammed into a rock as she slipped.
Wait, did
it break her nose?
Oh, okay, never mind. I don't want to. Would y'all break your nose? Have that dizzy feeling for $1 million or $500,000? Let me know in the comments, bro. I don't think a broken nose is fun. Like, so, but it's $500,000.
Tiny sensors are hidden all over the fabric, and each one tracks the angle and movement of the person's body. All of these signals are sent to a computer,
this is
which
the animations,
builds a digital skeleton that moves exactly like the person. Animators can then attach this skeleton to a 3D character, and as the actors move, the joints respond to each signal, allowing actors to become their characters in real time. Check the comments for more info.
Okay. Whoa. That's the first time I ever seen Zack say that. Okay, we check the comments. Use code ZACKDIP for 5% off everything on the... You know what? It's Zack Films, bro. If you're gonna buy anything from this website, bro, hashtag sponsor, not my sponsor, but this sponsor, yeah, you could get one of these. I wonder how much. I'm pretty sure these cost like $10,000. So 5% is, I'm gonna lie, is not that much. Okay, so we're gonna go capture tools and right here, a Smart Suit Pro 2. Buy Smart Pro 2. Hey, you got it, man. Hey, you got it, man. And yeah, there you guys have it. Now you guys know how to get away with murder. If you guys want to see more content like this, click this video here. And you too, this is all for fun. This was Zack Films. You don't actually get away with murder.